There it is.
It's a me.
And also a me, not Mario.
All right. Audacity. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 141, Dakota Gamer Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Chad Viss. Joining me at the moment, Josh Owens.
I am joining you at the moment, and I will also be joining you at a later moment.
That is true. Also, maybe joining us at a later moment, Dave Mann. He's running a little late on his job at the factory where he's chained up and he's mining the mines,
working his fingers to the bone.
Yeah,
for the company
nose to the grindstone. Yeah, yes. So hopefully he will be joining us mid-podcast this week. We'll see how that goes. We've not done that before, so it's something new. 141, and we're doing something brand new. See,
you guys are here fresh. For it.
You're in for it. Yes, that sounds threatening, but yeah, you're in for it. So,
in honor, Josh and I would have been the better way to say that.
I mean, no, I like in for it. It works. It fits. It fits. So we're here for the beginning part, and we'll be whole shortly. We're going to start off with the intro, which is what I just did. Well,
surprise
so far. Next, on the outline, it says November giveaway.
What? Oh wait, too soon.
Yep, there it is. No, too late. No, too late now for the too soon. We're giving away a PS4.
What?
When you there it is. When you listen to this podcast, it is Halloween, October 31st, and you basically have 2 more weeks until we randomly choose the winner for a giveaway with all the entries that you have done up to this point. You've given us, your favorite games. You've given us your favorite characters. You have told us many things about yourselves. You've rated our podcast. You've subscribed on YouTube. We even have a couple fan art entries that we're going to have to judge to get some extra entries. So you've done a lot of things, and it's about to pay off. We're about to give away a PS4.
And what you were not aware of is that we were collecting all of this data and information about you, and then we are going to sell it to other companies.
That's right.
And we're going to become very rich. So thank you for making us rich.
How do you think we're giving away a PS4?
Exactly.
Got to get that money somewhere. So we will have a November entry method for you at some point, either this week or next. So make sure you listen all the way through both podcasts. You basically have, today being the 31st, we'd like to get it to you by, Black Friday, which is the 25th. So really it'd probably be there the week of the 24th. So you got like days or so in November that you'll have an opportunity to get the November entry method. So you're going to want to make sure you listen to this week's. I guess you'll have 3 podcasts between now and then. So make sure you listen to all those to find the entry method for November. We will announce it one time in one of those 3 weeks at some point in one of those 3 podcasts. And this time, guys, it's a big one. It's the biggest we've ever done. 7 entries.
Oh, man.
If you do this entry method. 7. It's a lucky number. Listen and find out what that is. That will give you a good boost when it comes to entries for the PS4. So there you go. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. But we're now going to move into the news that you can use
if you so choose
to do so. Yeah, that was Dave. And then he left.
What, Dave? Hey, Dave left again.
Yeah, he just came in for his line. That's it. Yeah. All right, so news brought to us this week, as always, by our good friend Papa Andy, Patreon supporter. If you want to join nice guys like Andy and others, you can head over to patreon.com/South Dakota Gamer. Toss $1 our way. Also, we'll get you an entry. I think you have till the 5th is when they do the new month's Patreon supportage. So you have 4 or 5 more days to give us $1 for an entry. And that'll be the last time you get entries for that. But you can still be our patrons, Patreons, Praetorian Guards. You can still be those guys.
That one.
Yeah, and take care of us. We appreciate it. It helps us pay for the hosting of the podcast, keeping it on the internet, and cool giveaways like we're doing this month. So let's jump right into the news. We're going to try to blaze through this. We got a raid waiting for Destiny 2. So we're going to try to get through it quickly. I promise you the podcast will not suffer because of Destiny 2. Well, it may suffer a little.
Unless it does.
We'll do it. Unless it does. So first off, Microsoft. This week, something that I thought honestly had already happened. And that is
I was thinking that too.
They are no longer manufacturing the Kinect.
What? Oh, okay.
Telling it in the new S's, and it does not come with the X. But now officially they're not even making them anymore. So, I think I said on the podcast a few weeks ago that I finally unplugged ours just because Cortana sucks, to be honest with you.
Yep.
And they integrated Cortana into the Kinect, and it was awful. So it just got messy, and we just unplugged it. So
what do you think that means for Microsoft's sort of foray into VR? Are they replacing it with something? Do you think?
I have not said if they are, but it seems as if if the PSVR, you need the camera.
Yeah.
To get a position on you. And I know they're not. Microsoft hasn't said they're doing straight up VR, but they are doing that HoloLens AR stuff.
Yeah, and they have integration with Oculus, right?
Right. So you think you'd need some kind of camera, but I don't know exactly what that would require.
Maybe they would just.
We'll see.
Maybe they could just use, since they're already sort of working with Oculus. Maybe they could just use the Oculus setup just straight up instead of using the.
That would make sense. That makes sense. I wonder what Oculus uses to see. I don't have one, nor have I seen one. To see exactly what they use for their camera and such. But yeah, no more connection for the Xboxes. It seems like those are used better than with gaming. So not a big surprise, I guess. Next, the MPDs for September came out. I know you're saying, well, it's almost November. They were a little late. I think they're a week late, and I think it came out either the day of the podcast or the day after the podcast last week. And I'm not going to go through everything, but just a couple things to hit. Destiny 2 is the best-selling game of the entire year. So that was even before it came out on PC.
That is a little surprising to me.
It's big. It's popular. Games, big weeks. I know Zelda has sold close to 5 million copies so far.
Yeah.
So in 3 weeks, Destiny 2 has become the highest selling game of 2017, and obviously made the top of the charts for the month of September. I love Destiny 2. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a love-hate thing with a lot of the clan members, the SDGamer clan members right now. But it's a good game, and it's a lot of fun to play with friends. So best-selling game of 2017, Destiny 2. We'll see if Mario maybe beats that out, or Call of Duty obviously is coming out here in a couple weeks. Assassin's Creed came out, Wolfenstein, things like that. But we'll see what happens in October. Next, the SNES Classic. Selling piece of hardware for the entire month of September. But when it comes to consoles, the Switch is the highest selling console. They don't consider SNES Classic a console per se. But as far as hardware goes, it is the best-selling hardware in the entire month of September.
So is that in the same category as peripheral, any peripheral hardware, like a controller or a PS camera, like a PlayStation camera?
I don't know for sure, but I would assume. And I don't know if that means that they sell more than the Switch, but the Switch is just still the best-selling console. I don't know where those categories split. But it must have sold enough that they mentioned it, obviously, in their MPD numbers.
I mean, go Nintendo. That to me means that they did produce more SNES Classics than they did NES Classics, for sure.
Right.
Still, sold out 100%, everywhere.
Yeah. Every time you go to get one, they're going.
But, I mean, that's interesting. Go Nintendo. Crushing it.
They're crushing it, for sure. So those are just the top 3 things I want to mention with September MPDs. Yeah, like Josh said, crushing it. They're selling a lot. And if Dave joins us in time.
Is Minecraft still coming up on the MPDs every month like it was for so long? Yeah.
Yep. It's usually not. And Minecraft crazy. And Grand Theft Auto 5. Always on the top 10. Always.
So much money.
So Microsoft with Minecraft now. But
yeah.
All right. Next, Switch release date. We found out today actually that Rocket League is coming to the Switch on November 14th. So 2 weeks away. on the Switch on the go. Which I'm wondering if there'll be a different mode. I mean, I guess there won't be. You'll just be playing bots. If you're playing on the train or on the plane, you don't have Wi-Fi. You're gonna be playing AI. So which that kind of sucks, but
yeah, you can do those like seasons.
That's true.
But
it's cool.
Yeah, that would kind of suck not being able to play online. But the idea of being able to play Rocket like that high level of competitive multiplayer game where you're at, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
It's a cool way to like show a buddy like, hey, this game's cool, you should check it out, and like you just take your Switch to their house or whatever.
Yeah,
it's neat.
Specific Nintendo content too, Mario Kart, Luigi Kart, stuff like that. So
that's kind of cool.
I'm sure there'll be cool music and stuff. But so yeah, I'm looking forward to see that. I'll probably buy that game for the second time, but own it on 3 consoles. I'm sure. All right. Another thing here quickly. We talked about the Star Wars game last week at length, and the cancellation and the shutting down of Visceral. Jason Schreier over there with Kotaku has written an impressive and extensive article chronicling exactly what happened at Visceral. He has numerous anonymous sources, of course, because none of them want to be named. But he has numerous sources that worked there currently, that worked there before, talking about exactly what happened with this Star Wars game. And it sounds very similar. I read the article. Like I said, I don't know how many words are in it, but it's long. It sounds very similar to what I heard with some of the issues with Mass Effect Andromeda, as far as getting the game made. And at some point where people were just they weren't happy. It was an unhappy environment. It was a stressful environment. They were trying to do things that the engine they were working with just was not capable of doing. Using the Frostbite engine, which is the Battlefield engine, which is a first-person shooter specific engine, and they're trying to make a third-person action game. And things just were not going the way they wanted them to go. Some of the leadership issues, some of the creative differences. And so it wasn't just the fact that EA down and all single-player games because they don't make enough money, which I'm sure was still part of the decision, but there's a lot more to it than that. It seems that there was a lot of issues with the actual designing of the game and making the game, which made the decision a little easier, I'm sure. So I definitely highly recommend reading an article if you're interested. I did put it on our Facebook page if you want to find a quick link to it. It is there. That's Jason Schreier over there at Kotaku. Any thoughts on that, Josh? Did you get a chance to read it at all?
Yeah, I did. It's just such a shame. So I understand the idea of like a stressful, unhappy work environment, and there's nothing really productive is going to come out of that.
Yeah.
It's a shame that it had to come to that. And like, it seems like what you mentioned it, but it seems like a lot of the stress points came around like trying to develop like workarounds for the things that they were trying to do within this engine that it wasn't really designed for. And so that was setting them back. And like, it was just all this extra work to do something on an engine that wasn't designed to do what they were trying to do. And so like,
right.
It's a shame because like, this is such an important game and could have been an important game for this studio specifically. And it seems to me, like, I'm not in the industry, but it seems a little short-sighted to me to think that you could develop this sort of game on that engine in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Just make it work.
Yeah, when they could have maybe like from the early planning stages found a better way to do this.
Yeah.
So it's disappointing. It's like, it's super informative. It's a very long article.
Oh yeah, super interesting.
It's just it's disappointing. And like we talked about like our speculation on what the game's going to end up being, when it does come out, and it like all signs point to a game as a platform type concept. So that's disappointing too. But yeah, it is interesting. It just seemed a little short-sighted.
Yep, I'm sure looking back, hindsight's 2020. There are a lot of different decisions they may have made and choices, but it ends up in a whole studio closing. And it sounds like they were short staffed the whole time, but it's like over 100 people that are out of a job. Now, some of them will get another job with EA. Some of them, I'm sure, are talented to get a job elsewhere. But it's like they have to feed their families, right? They have to pay their rent. They have to put food on the tables. They got kids. They got to clothe them, and they got sick kids and pets. And it's easy to lose sight of that and just see a game that you really want to play get canceled.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
Realize there's literally 100+ people that are just out of a job. Yep. Like they came in. The article literally talked about a guy that came in ready for a Tuesday, had an all-hands meeting like they always do, and found out they were out of job.
Yep.
Wow. Yep. And basically, they have 3 weeks. They're giving them 3 weeks to do the next thing, which you can today find a job in 3 weeks that involves maybe moving states, moving cities. It's crazy.
And it's
crazy.
Like, yeah, to that point, it's really through no fault of their own, most of these people.
Yeah.
Like maybe some of the senior staff, maybe some of the execs, but
sure.
Like these people were literally just very good at what they're doing. Obviously, like they're working for a high profile studio, very good at what they're doing, coming into work, doing what they're told to do. And like just trying to make the best of whatever situation they find themselves in. And then again, through no fault of their own, they just end up, like, oh, all right, well,
done.
Yeah, all that's gone.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. Look forward to getting some kind of Star Wars game, obviously, at some point.
Yeah, Star Wars is the best.
Hey, Dave Man.
Yes, I
made it.
Dave Man.
Welcome, Dave. All right. Well, we just finished up with the Visceral Talk and Jason Schreier's article over at Kotaku. We're going to move right into just a couple more here before we get to Sony's big press conference that they had this morning at the Paris Game Week show. So before we get to Sony, though, we're going to talk a little bit about Xbox here. They're going to add very soon gifting games digitally. So I think Steam does something like this already. But you can buy games for someone else and gift it to them on the Xbox store.
This hadn't occurred to me yet, but it's so surprising to me that this is not already a thing on both major consoles. Like, all the framework is there, and Steam's been doing it for years.
Right.
Like, it never occurred to me, but it's surprising to me that this is not already a thing.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
To be able to do that. If Sony ends up doing that too, it makes things like for us giveaways, we could just gift it to them. It makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
All right, one more here before the big one. Although this is kind of a big announcement, I think. We mentioned this a few weeks back that GameStop potentially might be doing like a rental program for some of their used games, and it was a rumor at the time. I think someone through Australia found an ad or something like that. Well, tonight, GameStop actually officially announced it. They are starting a rental program called Power Pass, and it'll give you a 6-month subscription for $60, and you can borrow, rent, whatever you want to call them, any of their used games for any system, one at a time. And then the very last game, as your subscription runs out, you get a keep.
That's super awesome, I think.
It's like Blockbuster's back.
Yeah, that's a great model. $60 for 6 months, $10 a month. It's great for the consumer and for them. Like, they get their money up front, but it evens out to $10 a month. You rent as many games as you want, get to keep the last one. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
love it.
It's real cool. I don't know all the business details, but you wonder do this for a price of a new game. You can play as many used games as you want for half a year.
Yeah,
the end.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, great title too. Very nostalgic.
Crazy.
I like
Power
it.
Pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do have to be a Power Up Rewards member, so that costs you $15 a year. I think.
Not much.
So technically, I guess $75, but anyway. All right. Well, that's all that. Let's get into the Sony press conference at Paris Games Week. Did you guys get a chance to check out any of this? I know it came out during work time and all that.
I did not.
I watched a 15-minute recap video. It was like, I don't know how long the original thing was, but it went through like basically important things. I'm sure there's some stuff it missed, but it said all of Sony's conference in 15 minutes. So I watched that because I didn't have a lot of time.
Fair enough.
They
had like a 15-minute pre-show, and then probably about the same, maybe a little bit less main show. So they had like their Sid Schumann and a couple of their UK community people running the pre-show, showing off some games. They showed a lot of VR during that time. And then they had the main stage show where they showed the big stuff right after that. So I have an outline here where I just kind of typed out some of the things, Dave, if you, on the notes that you took, if you have something in there that I missed, feel free to interject. But I'm not going to necessarily spend a whole lot of time. I'm just going to kind of read off some of the things that they mentioned. We'll spend a little bit more time on maybe the main show at a couple of things specifically. But first thing to start off was announcing Guacamelee 2.
Cool.
It's coming. It's a fun game. So we're going to get a second one of those. They didn't give a date, but they did say that I think it's next year. Next, they had the Hong Kong Massacre, which is very stylish.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a top-down Hotline Miami.
I really like Hotline Miami. I like the art style of this. I didn't know it was the Hong Kong Massacre. I only saw Hong Kong. Maybe it didn't show all of the title in the video I watched. But yeah, it looks cool. I'm interested.
Yeah. Like Hotline Miami makes John Woo is what people were saying. It reminds them of. So that's kind of cool. Then they showed an adventure puzzle game called The Gardens Between.
This, Josh, reminded me of something you would like. It was very Oxenfree-ish looking. But I don't know the story, but it looks interesting. I like.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Tale of Two Brothers as well.
Oh,
like
nice. Yeah.
Type.
Yeah.
And it looked like there's some time rewind mechanics to solving puzzles and things like that. It looks like two, I assume brothers, but they might not be. They look like that though. And a 2D kind of platformer puzzler time mechanic thing. It looks pretty neat. The Gardens Between.
Very cool.
Next, Loco Roco 2 coming to PS4 December 9th.
Finally. Not even being sarcastic. I love Loco Roco. I played it so much on my PSP. That makes me happy.
Cool. Well, December 9th, Loco Roco 2 is coming. And then we got an actual real, like, serious type tennis game called Tennis World Tour coming out in 2018. It's been a hot minute since we've had an actual, like, serious tennis game.
That intrigues me.
Do you ever play Top Spin?
Yes. Yeah. I like Top Spin a lot.
Yes. That's what I thought of when I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got some Resident Evil 7 stuff. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention because it was creepy.
So this I did. I saw this not as part of like the PlayStation thing, but I saw an ad come across like my Facebook feed or something. It looks like a standalone like addition to Resident Evil featuring
not a hero, right?
Yeah, featuring Chris Redfield.
Not
And supposedly it's going to be free for all current Resident Evil 7 owners, and it's going to be part of the like complete edition or whatever they're calling like the edition that they release with all the content. It looks cool.
Cool. Yeah, if you're into that, it looks cool. Then they showed a bunch of other PSVR stuff. One game that I picked out of there is called Megalith. And they could describe it as a monster shooter with destructible environments where you basically are fighting against other monsters to become a god. It looked interesting. You're giant, huge monsters with claws and stuff. You can knock down bridges and caves and stuff, but that comes out in 2018.
That sounds cool.
Then they showed a bunch of other VR games at that point too. I didn't really write down a bunch of those. And if you want all that kind of news, IGNs are out there for you on that. All right, 2 more things in the pre-show. They announced Spelunky 2 coming out. Very cool. People love that Spelunky. And then they announced, oh man, I forgot how to pronounce this. They said it Ore. I think it's Ore.
I didn't know what it was at first. I didn't have time. I wrote down cure. I wrote down pure. I couldn't figure out what is the first consonant.
Yeah, it's O. I think it's Ore, and it's out today.
That's cool. It looked very interesting to where I didn't see that it was out today. So I'm actually going to look for it.
Yeah, pronounced O-Ray.
There you go, O-Ray. It gave me a Journey-like feel when I saw the gameplay. I'm like, oh, this reminds me a lot of Journey.
It did very much so.
Art style, movement, things like that. So, and I think they wanted to tap into that too. So, looks real cool. Available today. I don't know the cost, but I know it's out. It's available today. So, O-Ray.
$19.99.
$20. All right, now the main show, the big show. All right, so the very first thing that they announced was Sucker Punch's new game. That's right. We knew Sucker Punch was making a game. We're so surprised that we have not seen it up to this point, but they announced the name. Gave us some
type of game surprises me from Sucker Punch.
This
is not what I thought they'd be working on.
No. So the name of it is Ghost of Tsushima. It's a samurai game. We got nothing but cinematic cinematic cutscenes, really. Nothing as far as gameplay goes. But Ghost of Tsushima, set in the 1200s, feudal Japan. And Tsushima is an island between Korea and Japan, main island. And the text talks about an invasion from a certain clan or group of Japanese time frame in the 1200s. And I mean, yeah, they didn't really give us a whole lot about it, and we're going to find out more, but at least we have a name and we know what they're working on. So
I have to say, from what I saw, and because it's Sucker Punch, I'm really surprisingly very interested in this game.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I was a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I was hoping.
What were you hoping?
I don't know exactly what I was hoping for from them, but I was hoping for not this. Honestly, I was sort of hoping Sucker Punch was working on like a superhero type game.
Sure.
I don't know. This is another one that came across my newsfeed today, and I don't know exactly what it is about it, but I was a little, maybe just the setting and the theme of it I wasn't really looking for. But
the feudal Japan thing interests me. Samurai interests me. That sounds neat.
Yeah, the fact that they are again behind this, I'm really looking forward to what a game like this with a really good story can be. I just have a good feeling about it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll see more E3 and other times, but cool. I'm excited too. All right, next I have down is Concrete Genie, which probably not up my alley, but it was interesting.
It looked
you basically have this kid brush, and he paints graffiti on walls, and they come to life. And he basically is trying to lighten up this world, and bullies come and try to take his paintbrush, and they make the paintings go away. So, I'm interesting.
Gee, you sound really excited about this game, Chad.
Yeah, not on my alley. Concrete Genie, 2018. Next, we got some PlayLink stuff, which is what's that game we all played together? That's a PlayLink game.
That's you.
Oh, yeah.
Another game just came out, Hidden Agenda.
Yep.
And then this one is called Erica. It's very, very photorealistic, and it's got this lady. It's an adventure game for sure. And there's this lady, apparently probably named Erica, and you do a lot of the things you would do in adventure games: finding keys, opening boxes, telling her how to react to certain people, and it drives the story based on your interaction. And obviously, with the PlayLink games, those are all done on the phone, and they're meant to be played as a group. So, it'll be interesting to see what exactly that foretells. But it looks great, realistic. Cool for interesting. If you like the adventure type games, I think this would be something.
Was that not live action? Because I didn't get to watch a lot of the video.
I don't think so.
No,
I thought it. I'm pretty sure it was CGI.
Okay,
but very, very, very good CGI. Then they showed some more PSVR stuff. A lot like sizzle reel kind of. They went through a bunch of PSVR games. Anything to throw in there at all, Dave, that you noticed?
No, the video I watched wasn't very super PSVR heavy. It did. It showed enough to where I knew that the conference seemed to be a little PSVR heavy.
Yeah, they definitely spent time on it. So
yeah,
it's
to be honest, to be totally honest, since I got rid of my PlayStation VR, I wasn't super intrigued at like finding out everything about it.
Yeah.
That said, yeah, if I had my PSVR, I totally would, because PSVR, even though I got rid of it, I still say it's freaking awesome. And I do plan on getting it again. I just saw a way to get some quick cash for a move and stuff like that. But I plan on getting it again. It's an experience that every gamer needs to try. And the more games come out, the more that they're figuring out how to make it work right. And not that some of the games right out of the box didn't work awesome. I mean, again, it was awesome.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it, so I can't speak a lot on what was announced.
Okay.
I'm just glad to see them talking about it more.
Yeah,
right. They're spending time.
Like it was conspicuously missing from E3.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they're talking about it.
Yep, absolutely. All right, then we got a little Far Cry 5 action.
Nice.
And they focused on the co-op. That you can play through every mission in the game with a friend. So that's kind of a cool deal.
Yeah, it is.
Play co-op missions through the whole game. So that's I like that. I think that's really cool. Then next we got some Destiny 2. Curse of Osiris coming out December 5th. It's the first part of the expansion pass if you own the season pass, which we do. And you'll be able to play that on December 5th. It brings in Osiris, who is a warlock who is too powerful. One of the best that the Vanguard, or the best Vanguard they ever had. He was a guardian like you are, but his viewpoints and ideas were a little bit out there, so they banned him. But now he's back, but he didn't account for you, Guardian. They're going to Mercury. That's where he's at. So we're going to Mercury. Curse of Osiris. Very cool.
Sweet.
Next, Monster Hunter from Capcom.
Isn't this in Monster Hunter World?
World, yeah.
I thought it was really cool to see Aloy on there.
If you pre-order it, I think, and on PlayStation 4 exclusive, you can play as Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's cool.
Instead of the main character. So that's kind of neat. Then we got some World War II Call of Duty stuff. They showed one of the new maps that they're going to bring out in, I think, early January, and you get it on PlayStation first. So Call of Duty World War II, and we know that is coming out real soon. Mm-hmm. Then we got a game called Onrush Racing coming out September 2018. Kind of an arcadey type racing game, it looked like to me. Some cars, some bikes, characters, power-ups. It looked interesting. It looked like a cool game.
Sweet.
Onrush Racing. Then we saw some Star Wars Battlefront 2 stuff, which is more of what we've seen. Looks real cool.
Mm-hmm.
Love the Star Wars.
Some of these games, it's just like you're just ready for it to come out. You've seen them at like multiple conferences now.
Yep.
Let's just get the game out here.
And then probably one of the bigger ones for me that I really enjoyed. We saw some Spider-Man stuff. They showed Miles Morales. Peter referred to him as Miles, helping him out on stuff. Saw Mary Jane. It looked to me at one point in this that you actually play as Mary Jane. Like it looked like you had the perspective from her.
You saw Spider-Man get hit pretty hard by Shocker. I mean, sent him flying through the wall. That was cool.
Vault door wall. Mr. Negative is not the main villain, but he's one of the villains. It looks great. I mean, the character models that weren't Spider-Man with his suit on, but like the actual people, didn't look as great, but that's because we just got done seeing some Star Wars character models, which look pretty good. So the character models there didn't look awesome, but when you're Spider-Man and he's running on walls and zips, web zipping around, this game looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Fast-paced. Looking forward to the story. Obviously, it stands aside from any comic story and the cinematic universe. It's on its own, which is cool. Cool new suit and everything like that. So still no specific date.
I know. I wrote my notes. It's still a release window.
For Josh's prediction for E3. Release date, window, 2018. Still there. Months later. But so hopefully that will make it to next week, or to next year, rather. The next, we saw a Detroit, gameplay trailer. Disturbing trailer.
Yeah.
For Detroit. Like uncomfortable.
It also
disturbing.
It also showed that the androids aren't just like what you think in a lot of movies where androids are all more powerful than everything else around them. Like, you saw her; she was an android in it. She was getting like basically manhandled by what looked like a normal human. Male.
Right. I mean, the basics of it is there's a single dad, and he has this android, and she's supposed to cook and clean, right? That's like what he has her for, and he's got a daughter. And he comes home from work, and the android hasn't done everything, so he's like yelling at the android. I think her name is Alice or something about, you're supposed to cook and clean. That's your job. He's getting angry. So he's mad, sits down at the table, and his daughter comes down, and then the anger pours out on her. He yells at his daughter, "You're the reason your mom left. Quit looking at me like that way. Go to your room." And he just like blows up, and then he's like threatening, like, "I'm coming upstairs." And Dad is very, very angry, and the girl is just terrified. And then it shows the android just kind of standing there like, because she's an android, right? She has no feelings. She has no emotions. And the dad goes upstairs. He's angry. And then it shows an outside view of the home, and you hear the girl screaming. And it's disturbing. And then the text comes up and says, this could have gone differently. And it rewinds basically to the beginning of it, and you can control Alice, and you can get involved. And it gives options on things you can do, things you can, you can tell the girl to go somewhere else. You can get in between the girl and the dad. You can, and it shows, like Dave said, it shows the dad just punching the android in the face and her getting flung around. And she's not like RoboCop, right, where she just stops the punch with her hand because she's made out of metal. She's just getting beat up, angry. So it shows the player agency in what decisions you make to intervene. Do you save this girl? Do you pretend like nothing happens? And what you do. So we've seen some other, trailers where you were different androids and you could get involved in saving someone's life or saving this little girl from this other android. And it's a David Cage game for sure. It's going to have some uncomfortable, really difficult choices you're going to have to make and explore some of those emotions that you're not used to doing in a game, right? So while disturbing and emotional as far as the trailer goes, super interesting in what direction this game is going to take. They got a spring 2018 release window. So
looking forward to that, man. I'm looking forward to all of these last several games.
Yeah. And the next we got some God of War gameplay with what's his name? What's God of War's name?
Kratos,
yeah.
Kratos and his son. Basically, there's like this giant monster, and Kratos, like the son's like, "Let's get it." And Kratos is like, "No, he's not attacking us. Let's let him go. Let him be." And he walks away. And the kid's like, "Wow, Mom made those guys sound a lot more scarier than they really are." It's like, "Oh, who's your mom? Okay, interesting." And then they jump down, and then they end up fighting some smaller enemies. And the kid's like, "Look out to your left. Oh, look out behind you." So the kid's like interacting, and I guess kind of the Ellie feel, right, from Last of Us, in things that are going around. It looks great. The action looks cool. The weapons that he's using are neat. I think it's going to be a great game. They said early 2018 for that.
So does that mean? I mean, because when you think of spring of 2018 and early 2018, would you say? What's the game that came out before Horizon Zero Dawn in February? The bigger release.
Evil?
Was that it?
Resident Evil came out like at end of January, early February, yeah.
So that would be early 2018, right?
That would be how I interpret it. Spring would be like up to like May, June is spring. And then early would be earlier than that.
Yeah, because most people, when you think spring, you're thinking March. But for video games, that can go all the way.
Depends on whether you work for True Green or not.
Yeah.
Spring you work for True Green, spring is January 17th.
Yeah, January 17th. So I mean, first half, at least you'd assume for both of these games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. God of War looks great.
2 big games, yeah, it does.
And then we saw some Horizon Zero Dawn expansion. It showed some new monsters, some new metal dinosaurs. A lot of snowy stuff.
Now, I only watched a 15-minute video, so I got confused during this because I saw the early 2018 stuff, and I thought that is this just a video for what's coming out, the Frozen Wildlands in December? That's all this is?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So this isn't something that's coming out in 2018.
Oh, this just for the first expansion part.
Okay.
And I think it's actually November.
Oh, is it?
In
Okay,
November that
great.
it comes out. So, and then finally, the last
Now,
big deal.
I need to watch this again because I only saw part. They might have only shown part of it. I don't know what they showed. So you're going to explain this to me, Chad. Explain it to me. Now.
All right. So you didn't know when it started, okay? And when I was watching, and I think I watched it. No, I paused it, so I didn't get to watch it live. But
let me ask you
this:
Does it start with the girl getting up off the ground with a hammer?
No.
Okay, so it starts before that. So I need to go watch it.
Yeah, it starts with a lady, not a girl, but like a adult woman being dragged through like the forest. She's being dragged on her knees. Her hands are like handcuffed behind her back. Two guys are holding her under her arms and just dragging her through the woods. They drag her up to and one of them's holding a torch. It's real dark. There's lightning. One of them's holding a torch, so you can see. They get to this car that's on fire. He tosses the torch in there, and they come up, and there's a lady there. And they throw the girl that they're dragging down to the ground, and you just see her kind of struggling and moving around. She rolls over and she looks up, and she sees 3 bodies hanging from the tree with their guts, like their stomach sliced open and their intestines hanging out. Goodness. And as soon as she sees that, she starts to panic, tries to get away. One of the guys comes over, throws a rope around her neck, and kind of gives her a little shove, so she's kind of swinging. And you see this lady come up to her. She kind of starts to talk to her. Another guy grabs a bucket, puts it under her toes, so she like barely can reach and kind of let off some of the pressure on the rope. And I don't remember everything the lady says. I've only seen it one time. But she gets up to her and starts talking to her, asking her, I don't remember, she asked her where everyone else is or something like that, but she's just talking to her, lifts up her shirt like to where you can see her abs and her stomach, and she starts talking about something inside you, and she's like pointing this, like she's going to do whatever happened to those other people and gut her, right, and then hang her. And just as she's doing that, you hear a whistle. And the 2 guys turn around, and one of the guys gets like an arrow through the cheek and an arrow through the chest, and he falls to the ground. And you hear a lot of commotion. Then you see the other guy get like, I don't remember if I think he got shot with a bow and arrow too, or someone comes up behind him and just hits him. And this girl comes out of the forest, like Asian. She's got a white shirt on. Don't recognize her. At this point, still, I'm not sure what game this is, right? Because they have not said.
Right.
No characters you recognize.
Nor have we.
She comes out. She hits this guy with a hammer. And then eventually they're able to grab her, knock her down. And the lady that had the knife says to the guys, she talks to her. She spits in her face. The girl that came in to apparently tried to save this other one hanging. She asks him where everyone else is. She spits in her face. She says, fine, clip her wings. I'm like, what? And so they force her down on her back on the ground. They pull her arms out. One of them grabs a hammer and proceeds to smash her elbow. Like, disturbingly, just like, boom, like 3 times. Crunch, crunch, crunch. And she's screaming in pain. Just smashes her elbow. And what exactly happens next? Does someone come in? Someone gets shot. That one of the guys gets shot that's holding her down. Again, I saw it one time.
Watch this, Chad.
Huh?
I said I'm gonna have to watch this before we even finish the podcast.
So the other guy gets shot down. So the girl that's on her back is free. The other guy gets taken out somehow. They're shooting out into nowhere because they can't see anything. The girl picks up a hammer, the hammer that was used on her arm, and comes at the other lady with it. Well, the other lady has her knife still, so she's kind of fends her off. But then the girl that's still hanging from the rope puts her legs around the lady with the knife's neck, and just starts grabbing her and starts pulling her in. And so the girl that got her arm smashed takes the hammer and just, boom, embeds it in her head. And she like falls over exhausted. That's hanging, drops the other girl. She's dead. And they just leave her hanging there. And then out from the woods comes this other chick, shaved head with a bow and arrow, goes to the girl that was hit with the arm that she obviously knows, is like, are you okay? And I'm like, the whole time going, this girl's still hanging here. She just helped you. She do something. And they look at her and they're like, The shaved head says, just leave her. She's like, the other one's like, no, cut her down. And the shaved head girl goes, she's one of them. And she goes, cut her down. And so they cut the rope, and she falls, gasping for breath, takes the rope off, grabs the hammer out of the other lady's head.
That's what I've seen it from.
Grabs the hammer out of the other lady's head, and then kind of looks out into the woods, into the dark woods. And if you remember, a few months ago, we got a poster of an arm holding a hammer, like with a backdrop. That's all we got, and that's kind of like the last frame you get. Taylor is that arm with that hammer, and it says "The Last of Us 2."
No, that's not what I saw. Something different.
What did you see? Again, I saw it once. I may be forgetting something.
I saw what I saw was the girl got up. I said girl. Maybe she was a woman. She had a ponytail, tight pulled ponytail. It looked like.
Yeah,
and
she's the one that was hanging.
She got up. It makes sense. She got up with a bloody hammer and was holding her neck for a second. And she stood up, and you saw another girl with a shaved head, maybe the Asian girl with a bow and arrow, and they were pointing it out into the woods, right, in the darkness.
Right.
The woman walks over. She looks over there holding the hammer, and it's that freeze frame you see, and she says, "Watch your backs." Yep. And then you hear a noise, and for a split second, you see something running at you, and like if you pause it, you can tell it's a clicker.
I forgot about that.
It's a clicker from The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, clicker coming in the last second, like chasing them down.
That's when they revealed.
Yeah.
Because you heard a few people start cheering before The Last of Us 2 came up because they saw the clicker.
Right.
And that was like the reveal of the game.
So through that entire time, you really don't know that it's The Last of Us 2 because none of these characters are established. These are all brand new characters.
Yeah, they just revealed. I mean, we don't know who they are, but obviously
another part of the story somewhere.
Another part of the story that has nothing. I mean, at this point, no connection to Ellie or Joel that we know of.
Yeah, that we know of. So some people are wondering if it was Ellie's mom. That was the whole stomach thing, but they did that to other people too, so I don't know if that's necessarily the case. But yeah, there's a lot of – it's cool. When is this game coming out? I don't know. But, man, they got some real cool trailers.
Yeah, they do. That really interests me because – we saw lots of great cinematics in The Last of Us Part 1, or whatever we call The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah.
But everything was connected with Joel and Ellie. You either played as Joel or you played as Ellie. This is a complete cutscene, and again, I didn't see the whole thing, but if it's a cutscene straight from the game, it could have just been something they made to promote the game, and then they're going to do something else later. But it's an entire scene playing out without Joel or Ellie. So it makes me think you're going to play as one of these people too. Whoever this person is, you're going to play as one of these females, which seems really cool to me, bringing in another character. And yeah, I didn't see the whole thing, so I never heard any of the stuff about could this be Ellie's mom or whatever. But it would be cool if they brought someone in and it somehow connects to that story and fleshes that stuff out more. So, man, I can't wait for this game.
Very cool.
I love this game. It just reminded me that all my saves got wiped, so I have to play through The Last of Us again. I have to. So I can.
Yeah, you could do it on you, though. You platinumed it already.
Yeah, but I have to play it again because I have to have it completed. I have to play it on grounded mode. That means I have to play through it a couple times to unlock grounded mode, I think.
You're insane.
Dude, it's an awesome game. I'll gladly do it.
I'll play through it again, though. All right, well, that's all the news I have for you this week.
If you so choose to do so. How do you get to say it?
All right, well, that's going to bring us to what we've been playing this week, brought to us by our good friend and Patreon Surpriser.
You know what you just reminded me of, Dave?
What?
Never Ending Story.
Oh, wow.
It was like the same.
How about that, man? How about it?
Good stuff.
How about that, man?
So, Dave is on here first, and because, man, does he have a lot of games that he played.
Oh, man.
All right, guys.
This podcast has been like 45 minutes. Dave is going to take the next 45 minutes to tell us the game he's played. Just kidding. He's got a good story.
Okay.
And I didn't steal your thunder at all, and he's going to tell us.
Yeah. So I played some Destiny 2, of course. We started the raid last Friday and got
Tuesday.
It was Tuesday we did it? Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was Tuesday because we tried to finish it Friday. Started it Tuesday. Got through the first 2 areas rather quickly. Was it 3 areas we had to get through? We got through the gardens, the bathhouse, right? And then
Gauntlet.
And the gauntlet. I can't remember what the
made it
gauntlet
through
is.
all 3.
What's the gauntlet?
That's where you run with the
orbs. Yeah. Yeah, we did it. We made it through all 3, made it to the boss fight, and then just couldn't. First of all, it took like almost an hour to explain to us how to do the boss fight because these raids are so in depth. It's ridiculous. It's so in depth, but it's cool. And then we tried to do it, and we just couldn't do it. Well, then fast forward to Friday. Not everyone could do the raid, but a lot of people wanted to try to do it again. So we scheduled Chad, myself, Grey Wolf, which is Josh's brother Caleb, Nissa, which is his sister-in-law. I'm probably missing people. Paco and Isaac Ali, right? The sometimes correct, 4th member of the podcast. Having a baby. Yes. And we had it all set up to go, and then bad news hit. I wasn't going to be able to do the podcast until like 11 or something. So I was like all disappointed. The raid. I was all disappointed, and then everyone's like, "No, we'll wait for you." And then we asked everybody and confirmed. And sometimes Isaac, he fell asleep on our podcast before, so we were like, "Isaac, are you gonna be able to make it?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, it'll give me more time to play to watch Stranger Things." So he stayed up watching that, and then I got done. We all got on the freaking all got on a raid in the party. And we're like, all right, Isaac, or Chad said, Isaac, Dave's getting ready to come on. And then I got on, and we're all ready to go. And we're like, where's Isaac? I just texted him. He's going to jump on here in a minute. So then like 5-10 minutes go by. Where's Isaac? I don't know. He's not responded to me yet. So we kept trying to text him. I called him a couple times. Turns out Isaac fell asleep watching Stranger Things, and we didn't get to do the raid because we did not have a 6th person. So
nope, we were there. We were ready. We even tried to find other people, and no, we couldn't do it.
So we didn't get to do it. And then Chad couldn't do it Saturday, but a bunch of us wanted to try. And all we had to do was beat the boss. We were already at the final boss, and we tried for like a couple hours. It seemed like forever. Jordan's new baby was even there, and it just did not work for us. It was frustrating. I never wanted to play Destiny 2 again. I've been talked into trying it again after the podcast tonight, but we did not make it very far. So we're going to try again tonight, but that was my Destiny 2 experience for this week. I also played more Shadow of War, which is awesome. That game is really good. I played more Fortnite Battle Royale mode, which is cool. They added a new update where you can have some different clothing options and different instead of a pickaxe, you can use different things. It's pretty cool. Paco, I'm going to throw him under the bus here. I don't know if this is really throwing him under the bus, but he spent $25 to get clothes and stuff in Fortnite.
Oh no!
And I said, well, first of all, you didn't pay anything for the game. He's like, yeah. He's like, and I've spent like, I don't know how many hours. He spent more hours on that game already than some other games that he paid full price for. So he's like, I didn't really care. He did say that it was pointless to do, but he just didn't care and figured he would do it just for the heck of it to have some cool clothes. He does look cool, though. He's got like that whole skeletal outfit on, so it's really cool.
Skeletal onesie.
Then I played some Assassin's Creed Origins. Man, it's a good game. It's really good. There is so much to do. The map is enormous. The first time I put Senyu up in the air, which is the eagle or the hawk that he has, and just saw, oh my gosh, how big is this world? It was like incredibly amazing. I really like the upgrade system, changing the different weapons and the different pieces of armor and shields and bow and arrows and stuff like that you can do. You can have mounts like camels or horses that I've seen so far. The way that the stealth and everything, they've changed up a little bit of like you have a crouch button instead of just automatically crouching when you go into reads. You have like an actual button you push that you can use at any time. The climbing and everything is great. It's just massive, a massive scale. I really like it. I'm looking forward to playing it. I also played. I didn't put it in here, but I also played Wolfenstein 2. The new is it New Colossus or Shadow of the Colossus?
New Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus is a different game.
Wolfenstein: The Shadow of the Colossus.
I'll say this, man. Wolfenstein I probably spent the most time on. It sucked me in. This game is incredible. The story is great. It just makes me want to keep playing it over and over. And I'm going to say, man, it's difficult. It's more difficult than the first game or whatever Wolfenstein The New Order was in the series. It's difficult. I have it on the medium difficulty. There's like 5, I think. Like the first one's like the baby one. They always make fun of you if you pick it. The next one's kind of like you're a young adolescent crying for their mommy or something. The third one's just like bring them on. Bring it on. It's like medium. And then you've got 2 more. And then the one that's got like a German name that you can't even unlock unless you beat it so many times. So, and it's like, there's been so many times where the only reason I haven't changed the difficulty one down is out of principle of not wanting to do it. Cause I'm like, oh my gosh, I just keep dying because you feel like you should be unstoppable. And sometimes you are, but a lot of times you're not. I'm not going to spoil the story, but there's just, and man, the story is incredible. Some crazy things have already happened. Yeah, I can't wait till you get to play it. But I really like that. And then another awesome, incredible game that I played, Super Mario Odyssey, is finally here. It is amazing, guys. Amazing. I'm sure you'll talk about it a little bit. When I first got that, we already had Assassin's Creed downloaded. Then I bought I bought Wolfenstein, the new Colossus or whatever. But I bought Super Mario Odyssey. So I was playing that forever. I was playing it on my TV in the dock. I was playing it like as I decided to stop playing it and go to bed, I just pulled my Switch out of the dock and played it while I was laying there because I just didn't want to stop. I played it in the car. I played it at work already.
While driving?
Oh, man, it's just so incredible. It's captured everything that you want. It's like, in my opinion, it's like what Breath of the Wild did for the Zelda series and the nostalgia it brought back and the way they transformed it. They're doing that with Mario. I mean, the thing about Mario is they've done that with Mario time and time again. And sometimes they've missed the mark, but not by a lot ever. But this time they hit it 100%. It's amazing. I love it. I was laughing, smiling, saying, "Man, this is so awesome! I can't, I love this game." But that's not all I played, guys. I also played Contra 3.
What more could you possibly play?
I don't know if you guys remember Contra 3. I played Donkey Kong Country. I played Earthbound. I played Final Fantasy 3 for about 18 seconds. I played F-Zero. I played Kirby's Dream Course, Kirby's Superstar. I played Mega Man X, Secret of Mana, Star Fox, and Star Fox 2. I played Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Castlevania 4, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG, lots of supers. Super Mario World, Super Metroid, oh man, great game. Super Punch-Out, The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, and Yoshi's Island. All games that I played yesterday. And they were awesome.
I mean, as soon as you said Star Fox 2, that's kind of lets cat out of the bag right there.
Yeah. What do you mean? What?
You can only play that one way. There's only one way. You can play that game, Dave.
Guys, I went ahead and I just bit the bullet. I had to.
He was walking down the street. Just mind his own business.
I wasn't even looking for it. I ran into a wall of SNES classics, Evan. I ran into a wall of SNES classics. I just accidentally found one. Here I was thinking,
by chance,
man, they said everyone who wants one's going to get one, basically. I was told by someone that I for sure will get one. And so I just, assumed, I must not have to try. So I just walked into the store and there they were. They actually fell on me and they gave me one for free because they were afraid I was going to sue.
That's awesome.
No, that's not the actual story. I have been looking for SNES classics forever since they launched. Can't find them, obviously. Nintendo's terrible about letting you know when they're coming. Other stores, they don't even know when the inventory's coming. You got to follow multiple Twitter handles and follow multiple face pages just to try to find Facebook pages, trying to find out when are these going to go to stores, you know? And I just happened to, Chad sent me a tweet from a Target ad that said something about them being like, if you were like a red card holder or something, you could find them this weekend. So I called Target. No, we're not going to get any. I called GameStop. No, I don't know when we're going to actually, they said, somebody said, we just had some yesterday and they all sold out. We're not going to get any more till December. I was like, oh my gosh, man, this is ridiculous. I shouldn't have to fight this hard to try to find one of these things. So then I called Best Buy. I said, hey, I'm just calling to see if you're going to have any SNES Classics in on Saturday. They said, no, but we're supposed to have some in on Sunday. And we opened I said, what time do you open? 10 o'clock. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to go get in line. I got in touch with Chad and tried to find out, like, what do you think? Is an hour early? Is that too early? Like, what do you think? So I decided to wake up at 8:20 in the morning. Didn't shower, just got dressed, whatever. Went down there, stopped at Whataburger, got a honey butter chicken biscuit, some hash browns.
Nice.
And I head over to Best Buy. I got there at 8:34. I said, you know what? I don't see anybody in line. I parked my car up by the front. I'm like, if I see anybody start to walk up there, I'll just go over there and I'll look for it. So, or I'll just go up there and get in line. So I sit there for a little while, don't see anybody. 9 o'clock comes around, don't see anybody. I'm like, I see a car pull up, and every car that pulls up is an employee. They go in, they open the door, and they go in. So, but no one here seems to be customers. So then 9:30 comes around. I'm like, man, maybe I should get in line just in case, I don't know how many are going to get. Then I start worrying, like, I wonder if they didn't even get any. And so I see a employee walk out, and I was like, hey, man. He's like, yeah. I said, what time do you guys open? He said, 11 o'clock. I was like, wait, what, 11? Like, someone on the phone told me 10. He's like, yeah. He's like, what are you looking for? Any SNES Classic? I said, yep. He goes, yeah, we got some. But, like, if it was anything else, I'd be able to let you in to buy early, but I'm not allowed to let those go early. I was like, okay. Well, I mean, I guess I'm sitting there till 11. By the time 11 strolled around, there were like probably 12 people outside of the entrance. And I don't know how many of them were there for SNES Classic. There was one girl, I'm assuming she was. She looked very much like she didn't have many friends. At one point, her phone went off with the Star Wars Imperial March, and she looked around smirking like and kind of like bopping her head like anybody was going to appreciate it with her. And nobody did. So she she seemed very simple-minded.
Dave, you should have been. You guys should be best friends right now.
Yeah, and then I walked in. I made sure to like kind of look at my phone, and and by the way, I was playing Super Mario Odyssey the whole time waiting in the car. And then I even got on the bench. When I saw the first person I saw walking towards the front, I went up there and sat on the bench with my Switch and played. For like the last 20 minutes, I sat outside. And I kind of walked up and kind of just slowly like moved my way through the people just to get closer to the door. And when they opened the door, I walk in, and the guy that saw me earlier, he said, hey, SNES Classic? I was like, yeah. He goes, they're stacked over there by the register. So I didn't even have to walk to the gaming section. I don't know if anyone else was. Cool. So I just went over there and I was the first one in line. I asked him, I was standing there and I'm thinking, man, I really feel like I should probably buy two. Just like if maybe I want to give it to my kids for Christmas or something. Like I'm right here. There's a wall of them. They had probably 10 or 12 of them there for an entire Best Buy store. So not a whole lot, but
yeah.
But unless they just didn't have them all stacked there. But they had them all stacked, and the thing they were stacked on, there was more room for more. So I imagine if they had more, they would have put them up there. So he's like, they were only limiting one per person. So at the same time, I was like, good for you guys. Like, I appreciate that.
Right.
I'm not going to argue or say anything. I have no problem whatsoever. So I bought it, walked out of the store, trying to fight a smile as people walked in because I didn't want to look like a dork.
Did you hold it over your head and go, woohoo?
I just went in my car. I drove home and immediately opened it and hooked it up. And I even took it downstairs to the girl that was doing dispatch and set it up at the monitor next to her. I was like, you got to check this out. Look, had some drivers come in like, is that the SNES Classic? I was like, yeah. Like, oh my gosh, I got to get one of those. And I said, well, there's some at Best Buy today. Don't know if there's any left. I'm not going to say that you will get one because I can't promise you that. No one can, except for Evan.
Who would say that though, Dave? Who would guarantee something like that?
Well, he can say, well, yeah, you got one, see? But in my mind, and you're going to get one. Like, you don't have to pay scalpers. They're going to make enough. I shouldn't have to worry about what time do I have to get to the ticket store. I shouldn't have to call around, search, get turned down by multiple stores because they have no idea when they're coming in. I should be able to walk into the store and see one and get it. That's how I feel. If they're going to go out of their way to say that, that's how I feel. Because you know that there's people that will go in there, and if they could buy 5, they would.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe in a little retconning here, I don't know if they would do something like this, but maybe they're secretive so scalpers don't find out when they're releasing them. I mean, it still doesn't help the consumer very much.
I think they just don't know.
I'm just talking about Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo knows what
okay.
they're skipping out, You think they could just put someone on Twitter and figure that out? I don't know.
Right.
But I got one, and, man, the nostalgia was just 100%.
Flooded.
Yeah, it was. Oh, man, when I put in the Link to the Past, I played all the way up until I got into the castle before I went to something else. And I played Super Metroid, and I got all the way back out of the base and watched the base blow up and went back to the world and everything and played for a little bit and unlocked several things, got some power-ups before I'm like, I got to stop playing this. I want to play the other stuff. Played some of those other games that I've never played before. And
so did you literally spend some time with every game?
Yeah.
Cool.
I played every game, not super long. Earthbound, I couldn't get into Earthbound. Maybe, some of those games, it's like you had to be there at that age for it to get you.
Yeah.
But I played through several Super Punch-Out fights before I got beat by what's the skinny, like the lean black dude that he's like the third fighter, I think.
Pistananda.
Yeah. He ends up doing that punch where you have to like dodge like 13 times, and I couldn't get the timing, and I didn't want to spend the time figuring out the timing because I wanted to go to another game, so he eventually knocked me out.
So what one was your favorite that you played?
Jeez. Well, I started it with Super Mario World. I had to. That little the song came back and I was jumping around like, man, this is so good. Yeah, so that's really good. I played through, and I will say, I played through an entire mushroom cup of Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart. And of course won every single one, first place, and got the trophy. And it's awesome. And I've got Super Mario Kart 8 on my Switch. That's incredible. It was just fun to go back and play this. Played some Super Mario RPG a little bit. I want to get kind of into that because I didn't get to finish it when I was a kid. I've always been wanting to play Secret of Mana again, so I played that for a little bit. And there's just so much that you can do with it. But like,
cool.
A Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past is on there, so I don't know how I can. Yeah, I mean, Super Metroid, I'm going to play through. Super Mario World, I'll play through. Legend of Zelda, I'm definitely going to play through.
Yeah, cool.
So,
I'm happy you got one. That's exciting.
Me too, guys.
It's very cool. Too. All right, Josh, what have you been playing, man?
Hey, guys, I played a couple things this week. My week was a little busier than last week, so I didn't play as much. But I did play some more Fortnite Battle Royale. It's pretty cool. Place. It's pretty fun.
What's your best placement now?
My best placement now, solo is 5th. Nice. And my best placement, like in a group, I think is like when I was playing doubles with my brother for a bit, and we ended up taking second.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, so like I got killed before he did. So he ended up lasting right up until the end. So kudos to him. And then I don't remember, like the only time I've played with like 4 people was when Dave and I and Paco and I think my brother played. And I don't remember what our best placement there was, but like I'm to the point now where like if I play solo, I'm consistently placing in top 10.
Cool.
I haven't won a match yet, so that's a little infuriating. But we'll get there. So it's fun.
Cool.
It's more fun playing with more people. Like it's less fun playing solo.
Right.
So, but it is a fun game, and it's free. So cool. I played some more Rogue Legacy this week on my Vita. It's really, really good. Like it's surprisingly good. It was fun when I started playing it. And now I'm getting to the point where like I've played enough to upgrade a few things. I've unlocked a few like towers in the castle. So I've got a few more things at my fingertips, like within the game, and it's surprisingly deep. Like it's a lot deeper than I thought it was when I started playing. So it's a lot of fun. It's a very different type of game. Are you guys familiar with sort of how it works?
Yeah, I haven't played it, but I know I'm familiar with it, at least surfacely.
Yeah. So like you at the beginning, like the whole thing is like set up how you surfacely. So the whole thing is set up to where like you're playing as one of it calls it your heirs. So like you choose from like 3 different portraits, and each time you have a choice of like different heroes with different abilities or characteristics. And it's like it's 1 life and you're dead. Then you start over with a new character and a new castle. So it's procedurally generated, but you can unlock things where you can like if you play a castle and you get like so far in and you've made some progress and you like find a boss or something, you can pay like a map maker to lock that castle so that you can go back into the same castle and like try and do more within that castle. But like the idea of it's cool because like your heroes are basically expendable.
Right.
And you're just like going in and it's
you
like
expect them to die for sure.
Yeah. And it's a randomly generated castle every time unless you lock it. So it's pretty cool. I like it. And then I played a little more Doom this week.
Yes.
Like what I really like about Doom is it's just super fun to play. Like you feel like you feel incredible just like running around and like bashing demons and like cutting them up with your chainsaw and doing those glory kills, and like it feels real good. So it's so much fun to play. And the other thing I like about it is you can jump in for just 30 minutes and like kill some stuff, progress the story a little bit, and then like hop out, like no big deal. So it's not a huge time commitment, but like it's just so smooth, and like the gameplay is just so good. So it's a lot of fun. So yeah, not as much. I carved some pumpkins this week. I did a Mario tribute pumpkin this year.
Very, very well done.
And
Darth Vader.
Cecilia did a Darth Vader. I was very impressed. That was her 4th pumpkin she has ever carved, and that was how well she did it. Yeah. So it was impressive. Like, if I'm being fair, her pumpkin was more detailed than mine, and it looked awesome. So
Darth Vader.
Yeah. So we did that. I bought a costume. I bought a Darth Vader costume for my cat for tomorrow. So my cat will be dressed up as we greet trick-or-treaters. So yeah.
Put that on the Facebook page.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll take a picture. I gotta return the one I got him because we need a different size, but yeah. So yeah, that's what I did this week.
Cool. Very good. All right. Well, as Dave mentioned, I played Destiny 2. I won't rehash the raid stuff. That's exactly what happened. I played Assassin's Creed Origins, which is fantastic. I really, really been looking forward to Assassin's Creed. Love that series. and was really looking forward to the differences here. And there are, I mean, it's got the loot stuff in it, right? Like it's got purple, blue, gold, green. Like it's very Destiny-ish with the different types of weapons and how much damage they do. A lot more RPG to it. There's skills, a skill tree to upgrade, which you didn't really ever have in the other ones. And I'm liking it. The story is cool. It kind of starts you off. It's one of those ones where it puts you way future, and you play, and you kind of realize, okay, how did we get to this point? So it tells the story in that aspect. Some people aren't liking that there because they're feeling like, I don't know what's happening. I'm being thrown into like chapter 4 is what it feels like. But the way they tell the story is cool, and it brings you back and explains things. Ancient Egypt, some awesome place. Dave was talking about how big it is. It's massive, and environmentally, it's really cool. In the old Assassin's Creed games, like you couldn't climb everything necessarily. You had to have a foothold or a handhold to get. This is almost like Zelda. Like you see a surface, you can climb it. Don't worry about handholds. Just go up to it and start climbing, and your guy will find a place to climb. You can climb any cliff rock. You can climb almost any building. You don't have to worry about, oh, there's no handhold here, so I can't climb this wall. Which is a cool thing. You want to climb something, you can do it. I have not gotten to the pyramids yet to climb that. I'm still kind of in the beginning city.
Yeah, me too.
But each you're going after like 5 or 6 characters, and they all have like names. One's a snake. One was I forget. They use like different animals that they kind of worship in Egypt. And it's enjoyable. I'm liking it. I think there's going to be a lot of time spent there. Brian with PS4 Trophies YouTube page, or YouTube channel rather, he does all the trophy hunting and things like that. So he spent 55 hours to get to platinum.
Wow.
So I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of game. Yeah. And then I played Super Mario Odyssey. Me, my son, and my daughter all have profiles on the Switch, and we're all playing it. Now I played it the first day, got a little ways, and then they've basically been playing ever since. They are both further than I am, played as much, but they're to the point where they both said they're stuck. So I don't know if that means they're at a boss they're not sure how to defeat, or exactly where they're at. Now remember, my oldest is 11, so Super Mario 64, that's old for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's old school.
Yeah.
So we never had a GameCube, so he didn't play Sunshine. He didn't play Galaxy. His Mario experience is a lot on the 3DS, and Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U, and Super Mario Maker is kind of his experience on that. So the 3D aspect of it is a little different, open world specifically. But they love it. And my daughter, she's 8. I think she's better than my son. Don't let him hear me say that. But she like gets it, and she is playing, and she's like telling him how to do stuff. Now she had to have him beat a boss for her, but she's good at exploring things. But yeah, without going too much further, Dave is 100% correct when it's just nostalgia, smiles, like it's just fun.
Yes,
it's just fun. So I mean,
I get to say this
so much time.
I've talked about this before. My son, he never played Mario 64 on the N64 either, but he did get a DS. That's something that I think my grandmother got for him. Remember the stories I used to tell when he was like 3 years old, 4 years old? He would play Super Mario 64 on the DS, and he would, instead of using a stylus, he just used his finger and made Mario run around with his finger. And he would be running. He'd be running across like logs and stuff where you need to make sure you go straight with his finger, and it would give me like anxiety attacks, thinking he was going to fall off. And like, how is he doing this? But he managed to do it. So I'm going to see them. I get to go. I have a small vacation. My ex-wife's going to Scotland with her husband in November, and I get to spend like Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday with them. Cool. And so we'll be playing lots of video games for sure, and unfortunately on their bad internet, but it should still work fine.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch the language that I use, but
that's cool. Now
lots of Mario for sure. SNES Classics going, PS4's going.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the best way I can describe Mario Odyssey is just fun. Like if you've ever liked Mario, if you have a Switch, you need this game. Period. Like it's one of the ones you have. It's just a must-have game, and it's just straight up fun. There's so many different costumes you can get, so many different enemies. I think there's over 50 different abilities you get with the whole hat throwing, cappy, possessing, but actually just capturing mechanic that they use. It's done well. I've heard some people say they're a little worried about the gimmicky part of it, but it works. They do it so well. It works so perfectly. You never feel like, oh, this is lame on this enemy. It's done well. You use it to solve puzzles, to get across gaps, things of that nature, and it's just everything about it's awesome. Everything about it is just great. And then I hear once you actually roll credits, there's still a ton to do. Not as in, all right, go back to the first world you're in and finish up, but like there are new things after you beat the game that show up for you to do.
That's cool.
A lot to it. But and I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you, with Nintendo experimenting with DLC with the Breath of the Wild. I would not be surprised if we get some extra worlds as DLC in this game.
Sweet.
That would be awesome.
Sweet.
So good. I recommend it highly.
I will say this.
A fantastic game.
It's the first time I had to start deleting stuff off my Switch because I still don't have a SD card.
Oh yeah, get one of them.
I do a lot of digital.
Yeah, see, I've not had to worry about that yet, but I get carts mostly. So
yeah, the small games, like the small indie games, I get digital, and then the ones I know for sure I'm never gonna get rid of, like Mario Kart, Mario Odyssey, Zelda, I bought digital.
Yeah, big ones.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, we are going to raid for Destiny, which means this is going to be just about it for the podcast. We're going to give you the new releases for this week, Dave, and then that's going to be it. So we're going to skip Game Scoops 20 questions this week because raid.
Yeah.
Hashtag SD Raiders.
SD Raiders.
That was the literal thing for our clan, SD Raiders. Now, if you search that on Twitter, you get the San Diego Raiders, which is where they want the Oakland Raiders to move to San Diego. So we didn't really think it through for the hashtag and going viral and stuff, but SD Raiders, South Dakota Gamer Clan, is going to raid tonight. Hopefully we're able to beat it. So we're going to wrap this up. Dave giving us the new releases and then saying goodbye.
All right, the new releases for October 31st, which is Tuesday. You guys can get Bubsby, The Woolies Strike Back. Actually, if it's written correctly, it's Bubsby, The Woolies Strikes Back. So the Woolies seems to be singular and not plural because it's strikes back. Otherwise, it would be the Woolies Strike Back. I'm confused. I've never heard of it. But for PS4 and PC on October 31st, you can get this game. And then on November 3rd, I thought it was November 8th. It's November 3rd.
Yeah, and it comes out on the 8th. The 8th would be a Wednesday, so it's definitely not the 8th.
Well, I don't know. Games are coming out on all these weird days recently. I don't know what the deal is. Fridays, Tuesdays, whatever the heck. Nintendo does weird things. Anyways, PS4, Xbox One, and PC on November 3rd. Call of Duty World War II. It's going to be good, guys. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Good. It's good.
It's good. I like it. I like it a lot. That's it. I don't know if you knew, Chad, by looking at the outline. Those are the only two.
I did. Okay. It helps that you listen. I said Dave's going to give us some new releases, and then he's going to get us out of here by saying goodbye.
Oh, I
guess his way of saying goodbye is saying, Chad, I don't know if you know that's all the out loud.
Another thing you probably didn't know is that you've been breaking up this entire podcast, so I'm missing a lot of what you're saying.
All right, well, we're done with the podcast. Thanks for listening. As always, you guys are the best. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
I'm literally ordering several pieces of pizza right now, so have one. Come on over. You've got